Throughout global history, sports has been a stage for politics and culture. It has been used to push political agendas by government, as protest by athletes and fans, to unify, to divide. British colonizers imposed their sports as a way to have influence and control over the cultures they were dominating. Cricket, an English sport, was forced on India during colonization and remains the most popular sport there today. You can also see this in South Africa and New Zealand with rugby. These sports imposed British values like being civilized, rigid, and uniform. Even in places the British didn't directly colonize, football is the most popular sport in the world today. Dance was one of the most popular recreational activities in colonial America, much more than sports in that time. Minuet and cotillion, court dances from France, were popular for a short time, but quickly transformed to different country dances that blended European, African, and Native American styles. Oppressors could not control dance in the same way that they could control sports, which have strict time frames and referees. There was no dance police, even though they did try to be the dance police. This control and oppression just led to innovation and creativity as a form of resistance. Because dance is an art form as well as a sport, it is constantly evolving. Congo Square in New Orleans was a mecca for the evolution of dance in America. Because people were brought from all over Africa during the Atlantic slave trade, they spoke different languages, practiced different religions, and brought different traditional dances. In 1817, a law stated that enslaved people could not congregate anywhere in New Orleans except for Congo Square. Congo Square grew into a large marketplace where people could sell things, earn money, and buy back their freedom. Celebrate their culture through music and dance with large dance and drum circles. There were also inspirations from Native Americans and people coming from the Caribbean. These traditions continue today. In 1856, a law banned people of African descent from playing drums or horns in the city of New Orleans as a means of suppressing culture and unity. Drum bands like this had been used in places like Brazil and the Caribbean, other places that had large African populations. These bands led to African American musicians getting creative using body percussion and other instruments like the banjo. This influenced dance and musical styles greatly. Most notably, especially in New Orleans, was jazz, where they kept alive African rhythms and improvisations on other instruments. Blues and gospel also emerged as forms of resistance and celebration. By the 1920s, these styles, originated by black dancers and musicians, entered mainstream white culture. Shuffle Along in 1921 was the first all-black musical on Broadway, which featured jazz dance and greatly influenced Broadway-style dance to this day. The Charleston, first danced in black communities in Charleston, South Carolina, traveled north during the Great Migration in the early 1900s, made its way onto Broadway in 1923 in Runnin' Wild, and became the most popular dance of the 1920s, synonymous with the Jazz Age. This was the time of the Harlem Renaissance, where many prolific black artists were emerging out of Harlem. Despite black culture being popular and appropriated by white people, racial segregation was still very common, though many places made exceptions for black performers. The Savoy Ballroom in Harlem opened in 1926 as the first racially integrated space in the United States.
It was legendary and called the world's greatest ballroom. By 1928, the Lindy Hop was danced in the Savoy and first recorded by Shorty George Snowden in a dance marathon. By the mid 1930s, the Lindy Hop evolved to fit the more popular big band swing style. It became the most popular dance in the United States for decades, also called the jitterbug or the jive. It blended partner dance, African style improvisation, jazz style, tap, and Charleston. It is energetic, incorporates aerial lifts, dips, and jam circles. Popular dancers were Shorty George and Big B,
and Frankie Manning, who went on to be featured in Hollywood movies like Hell's a Poppin', which is now playing, and further popularized the Lindy Hop into the mainstream.